Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. Today I'm bringing you a quick review on some new eyeshadows from Almay. They're called the Shadow Softies, and I have 3 of them here to review. I found these for between $4 and $5 at Target. The little display actually said something like whipped to perfection on these, so I can see how that would be a little misleading. Like, are these creams? Are these powders? I'll explain in this video exactly what the texture is, show you how they apply, and we'll look at swatches too. And I picked up 3 different shades that I thought I could create a total look with. Creme Brulee, which has a lot of shine to it, as you can see. Petal, which is kind of a medium light pink shade, and then Smoke is this deep gray. So for these to be kind of referred to in the displays or in the advertising as whipped, I think is pretty misleading, because when I think whipped, I think of something with more moisture to it, you know? Definitely far more a powder eyeshadow than they are a cream. For example, I can kind of press my finger down into this a bit, and it kind of is reminding me in that way of like a Dream Bouncy blush, for example. It's got that little bit of moldable quality to it, yet to just touch it and just to get some product off of it, I mean, it's completely a powder. It in no way feels like a cream. Now, they call it a shadow softie, and I do feel like these are super soft to the touch. Like, as far as a powder goes, they're just super light and smooth as you touch them there in the pan. Now, while they do come off like powder eyeshadows, they don't have any of the fallout. Like, when you put your brush into one of these to use it, you don't have powder going everywhere, and then you also don't have, you know, a bunch of fallout sprinkling all over your cheeks as well when you do your eye makeup. So that's definitely a positive point toward this formula, but on the downside, I find these to be extremely lacking in pigmentation. For example, this Creme Brulee, I mean, you get a little shimmer off of it, but it's like, where's the color? And I will cut to a demo throughout this video so you can see how this applies with a brush on top of primer. I mean, I really wish the primer would help these more than it did, but I feel like it just gives a very sheer result. No matter how much you try to build it up, you won't get this color on your lids. You will just get a sheer sparkle that's just so barely there. Petal, I continued on to put this all over the rest of my lid, and this built up a little bit better, but I still wasn't getting near this color. You know what I mean? Like, I've got the look on my lids today. Do you think what's on my lids looks anything like this? Like, you can't count on it to look like it looks in the packaging. And then Smoke, again, a very sheer shade, and I used this in my crease. I took kind of a full brush, and I went back and forth in my crease, and then I built up the color just a bit more in the outside with a smaller brush. I also used a little smudge brush to take this down under my lower lash line. And this shade, I kind of see the benefit to it because it gives off more color than the others. And if you're just wanting a really light wash of something in your crease, this gives you that. If you're really scared and maybe just starting out with eyeshadows and you don't want to go overboard, but you just want the lightest look of something in your crease, and you don't want to have to worry about being super careful with it because it's not going to give you any fallout, that's definitely a point in this product's favor, because I can get it under my eyes in my crease with this gray, and while it's not super dark and saturated, it does give me a light crease color, and it doesn't give me any fallout problems. Staying power wise, I really didn't have any creasing. I did wear them on top of a primer for the last few times I've tried them out, and no big issues there where that's concerned. But as far as the color payoff, I wish the primer would have helped these out more. They are extremely sheer when you see them swatched without any primer, and then you add the primer in, and it helps a little bit, but not nearly as much as I would hope. And here's the thing, Almay has some decent eyeshadows already. They have the Wake Up formula that comes with like a little cream shadow, and then you've got some other powder eyeshadows in there. I like that formula. I think those work well. And then you've got the Intense Eye Color Trios. These are pretty darn good too, as far as a drugstore shadow is concerned. And then they bring out these, and it's like, wow, they're fun to press your finger into, but they barely show up on the eyes, with the exception of this one that I think could be useful if you want a subtle look. I don't see myself going out and repurchasing this. But of the 3, I think this does have a good function for people who don't want an over-the-top look and they don't want to have to worry about shadow fallout. Overall, a little bummed that I spent close to $5 on each of these, but I am glad that I could pass the information along to you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye, guys.